From the deep, dark reaches of Star Trek Online comes Nikodas and Grebog with another episode of Fleet Action Report.
Hello, and welcome to Fleet Action Report, the show where we don't just play the game, but we teach you how to play the game. I'm Nikodas.
And I'm Grebog. This is episode 132. Let's get social and maybe a little dangerous. If anyone knows where the dangerous part came from, yes, I am dating myself a little bit there. Let's get dangerous.
Only until they redo it, because apparently that's been discussed.
I'm sure it has been. So yes, here let's start it off different. How has your week been, and what have you been up to? Haha.
Beat me to it, darn it. Honestly, I have been working on WoW pretty much all week. I've got it, this drive to unlock all of the allied races, and I am on my very last one, which is the Kaltirans, and I am like so close to getting them done. I was literally working on it right before the show today, and I mean, I'm on the quest to unlock the Kaltirans. So then I have to actually figure out what classes I want to make my Kaltiran PCs. I know one of them. You think Druid? Really?
Well, they get a special Druid form.
Oh, that's true. They get like the stick people, don't they?
Well, that's one of them. Also, their bear is way different. It's kind of like a spiky backed bear thing. Yeah.
All right, I'll have to look at that. I was going to do one of them as a Death Knight because I need them as a Death Knight. So,
well, I mean, Death Knights are cool.
So I'll look at doing the Druid then. That could be fun. I'll have to look and see what I have for Druids already. I know on the Horde side I've got the High Mountains as one of my Druids. So, for the very much the same reason, because they have antlers in all of their forms, so it's interesting, different. But really, I mean, that's been it. Work's been work, and then just playing WoW. I worked a little bit on STO. I've got a new character on the Klingon side I was working on, and trying to finish leveling my Lobies on the Fed side. So I've been doing that a little bit. And then I also discovered that Vatara, my Romulan, is way behind on her episodes. So I worked a little bit on just getting her caught up. So it's been an interesting week. Lots of gaming. What?
Is this the Excelsior 2?
This is the Lakota, and I didn't even know this was a thing. It might be using a newer skin.
It's not. It's yeah, it's fine.
Because I haven't actually, noticed it was here before, but the USS Lakota was featured in Deep Space Nine, where it goes toe to toe with the Defiant. It's a fun ship. I don't know. I was surprised to see it sitting here by ESD. But yeah, there you go. USS Lakota. Hi, Osiris. Good to see you. So that's it for my week. How's yours?
I toyed with my Pathfinder 2 players a little. I can't say. See, this is the problem with you being in both games. I can't say too much because, yeah, I love spilling the beans. I do. I love talking about things, and that has always been a struggle with me of not revealing what's in my head, and then maybe potentially spoiling things for my players that But yes, I toyed with them. They needed a hook into how to get to a group, and I gave them a hook. And then I also introduced them into my really weird hobby. I guess it's really, I don't know what to think. it doesn't seem like a normal hobby. I mean, most people just call it coin collecting, but then because I actually got into coin collecting, I know that it's numismatic. It's yeah. There's an actual word to it outside of just saying, "Oh, I collect coins." So,
I'm just glad you finally gave us a lead that we now have a direction to go in. So,
well, I was trying to give you lead. There are certain things that you guys, I would say, overthought. And I was going to have things go one way or another, except you opted for another path, and so I just am like, okay, well, I'll toss a lead in this place, or I finally got a lead that wasn't right in front of you because, well, I had to. But so yeah, so I toyed with them. They arrested a potentially partially innocent lady. I, who knows the details on that? I mean, maybe the DM does. I don't know. Um, but yeah, it was fun. Let's see what else. I've been playing a lot of WoW. Oh, and WoW, my raid team killed and we cleared normal difficulty of the current raid. So that means we dipped into a little bit of the heroic difficulty. We got the first boss down. We didn't have a whole lot of time to work on anything much more, so we only got the first boss down in heroic. Because our focus has been to clear normal before we push hard into heroic. Now that we got heroic or normal cleared once, and we have the skip, we likely we might go in and just try to I would say we could try to kill certain bosses to get tier for people, because WoW put tier pieces back in. Essentially, if people don't know what that means, 4 pieces of loot that, like, your shoulders, head, legs, and chest piece make up a set, and they give you bonuses, much like in STO. Here we have tier pieces that, like, they're part of a set that give us extra bonuses the more pieces you wear. So there's talk about maybe doing that, but the eventually in WoW they're going to give us a machine that we can stick in various pieces that we pick up while doing Mythic Plus or from running raids that are not tier, and convert them into the tier piece. So we'll have another option to be able to create our tier set. Typically, you're only going to be able to make one a week or something like that. But you can, if you don't make one each week, let's say, like, I didn't make one this week, next week I could make 2. And so, yeah. And it kind of stacks like that. But so that's why we're possibly not going to do a lot of normal after this, because if there's going to be a way to make the tier, we don't have to go farm the bosses to get the tier. But we will probably be hitting the last 2 bosses for a little while in normal, just because of the eye level increase on the end bosses on the gear, or the yeah, I guess the higher quality, I guess, would be a good way for those. I'm trying to think. Some people don't speak WoW, so how do I explain this? But yeah, so they have higher gear stats on the end boss items, and yeah. So outside of that, wow. Oh, I leveled my hunter a little, got him up to 66. I got 2 new pets. I trained or tamed a duck. He has black wings, kind of a black body to him, and I named him Darkwing.
that definitely goes along with our theme for today.
Well, it probably does help that one of the rares is named Drakewing in the game.
And that's probably done on purpose too. So
yes, and he drops Drakewing. If you kill that rare, has a chance of dropping a cloak, and it's something like it has dangerous in the name of the cloak. So,
You gotta
a-
love all those pop culture references in Warcraft.
and then I also tamed a. Technically, it's a moth. I put air quotes because to me it looks more like a butterfly. It has very brilliant blue wings that on the front, and it kind of fades into a darker royal blue in the back. It was a very pretty moth. So yeah, that's been my week. Mostly that. I have been doing my dailies, playing some STO. I tinkered with this build a bit since I had gotten some new gear and stuff that I wanted to put into this ship's build. Yeah. So and new trait. We're going in.
I don't know why my character was blacked out. That's interesting.
Um, censored.
I guess.
You were nude, and they just don't want to show that.
This isn't WoW. My characters don't run around half naked.
But yeah, that's my week. I guess so. Let's jump into this week in STO. This week, they like I talked about the event this week. Well, it's going on until what, the 24th? 24th, yes, goes until the 24th, and it is the Red Alert event. It like every other Red Alert event, go blow some stuff up. The Zenkethi one still has a fail, so if you let the proto matter torpedo hit the planet, you're done. It's over. Um, and you won't get credit for the daily if you fail. But eventually, someday, someday in the future, they will change that maybe. Um, the rewards once you get your 10 completions is an experimental tech up or experimental ship upgrade, an experimental tech upgrade, and one specialization point. So and some dilithium, 8,000 dilithium, I think. So
It should be noted that you have to be level 50 to participate.
yeah, every red alert event, you have to be level 50, and the only reason I think they put that stipulation on is when the red alerts were a thing in game. As a normal thing, they were always regulated to level 50, and they just have never went through and redone the scaling for uh the red alert events.
So they announced at least a portion of the next event. They have a new TFO coming called Breakout of the Birdcage, or possibly just Birdcage. Um, this will likely be part of the anniversary event that's going to start here in a couple weeks. But other than that, we don't really know much about it. It is a
Grand.
Terran prison, basically manned and operated by the Emperor himself. So we may have a run in with him again. Like, it's his personal prison. It's where he throws his enemies. Um, Supposedly, it's like the hardest or most well defended prison in all realities. I don't know, but we're gonna see how that goes. It looks, by the screenshot they gave, it looks like it might, at least in part, be a ground TFO, if not entirely a ground TFO. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes.
Well,
But at
TFOs
least
they
we
don't
know we're getting something new.
TFOs they don't tend to split them.
They
So
tend not to, but you never know. They could try something new because there is the bridge of a shuttlecraft that it shows.
yeah,
But that could still be ground. I mean, in the interior of a shuttlecraft is still a ground. So I don't know. We'll
there are
see.
some of those that you start in the shuttlecraft and then they beam you in to start the whole TFO.
Yeah, so
Um,
we'll see how that goes. But there's a new one coming, and then they just announced today a junior officer event. This is going to run from tomorrow, the 17th, to the 24th. You get 50% bonus to all commendation rewards. And if you come to the academy, either the KDF Academy or Starfleet Academy, you can get a special purple quality duty officer. For Starfleet, you get an Exocomp, and for the KDF, you get a Reman. Romulans and Jem'Hadar would get the appropriate one according to who they are allied with. And just since we're here at the Academy, your beam down site will be out here somewhere. The building you want is this one. And then you'll run in here and you will talk to the person on, I believe, the right, Tenant Farah.
No, technically, Farrah is the one over, but
Is
you
that
can
fair?
talk
You're
to
right. That
Farrah
is
all the
fair.
way over here.
Okay, so it'll be Lieutenant Farrah, and obviously I can't do it today because it doesn't start until tomorrow. But I've already got it on Katisse here anyway. But you talk to Farrah and do the little, there will be a new line of dialogue, and then you'll get your exocomp. Okay, so that is it for the announcements. Hopefully, next week when we do this, we'll know more about the upcoming anniversary event. We'll see. Um, all right, so our primary target today is basically to take you around and show off all the social zones. And there goes a black cat. Last week we did the adventure zones, which are the areas in the game where you can go and beam down or stay in your ship, depending, and do certain activities to either capture a zone or capture an area. And once you get them all, you'll have a boss fight. Those are the adventure zones. There's also just social zones. Now, the most common social zone that you're going to see is probably going to be your um, like ESD or your Klingon starbase, the first city, or your the shipyard for the Klingons. The areas that you go all the time. So we're not going to show those off because everybody knows about them. The second one that you'll spend a lot of time at is your academy. There are a couple different events that will bring you here. There's endeavors that will bring you here. Um, all kinds of stuff, all kinds of reasons to beam down and kind of hang out. Now this has been updated over the years, um, and I don't even know if we can get lucky today, but um, you can actually see George and Gracie's offspring in the bay. If you hang out here long enough, sometimes you'll see some whales come up to breathe, and you can see them out here in the bay, which is kind of a neat feature, if you ask me. But obviously, you can see the Golden Gate Bridge. Starfleet headquarters is here, various shuttlecraft flying around. The memorial there, there's a plaque that talks about when Starfleet Academy was founded, which is in 2161. So it's not a bad place to waste some time if you just want to hang out and look at the scenery. But like I said, there's often stuff to do here as well. Memorial plaques kind of all over the place.
When we typically when there's a passing of an actor that played a role in one of the various Star Trek movies, shows, a lot of people like to gather here to a way to kind of commemorate the loss, show their appreciation for the person.
Isn't it just called Torch?
Yes.
It's got to have a different name because I'm not seeing Torch.
Uh,
I don't remember what it is, but yeah, there's one you can pull out a torch and kind of just stand here. Here it is. Hold torch. So you'll see a whole bunch of people lined up here holding torches. And sometimes you'll get quite a few people here depending on who it was. I know for Uhura there was like 30 people here at one point in time.
and that went on for days.
Yeah. So anyway, that's a thing that happens. Obviously, there's some people over here having a disco party, but this is one of the major social zones in the game. However, it is not the only social zone in the game. I'm going to beam up now.
Where are we going?
Let's go to Vulcan. There's quite a few things that we can show off. Well, a couple things we can show off on Vulcan. Setting a course for the Vulcan system. And you are probably, oh, you're not on your science ship. Maybe you won't outrun me today.
I mean, you did get a head start, but and
I
Vulcan's not
did.
that far, so.
That's true too. Okay, so here's the triple sun, triple suns of the Vulcan system, and the planet Vulcan is right here with its red and blue glory.
trinary star.
Oh, and Osiris, I wasn't ignoring you. Gold panning for gold takes a lot of patience. So, if you are going to do that, I wish you the best of luck. I probably would never have the patience for that. Okay, so you can actually beam down to Vulcan from the moment you enter the system. If you fly around and look here for a little bit, I mean, there are shipyards. There's a starbase. Cannot beam down to the starbase.
It,
But
during the
there you go.
anniversary event, there will be Omega particles that you can collect here, just so you know.
And the planet itself. And then we'll go ahead and beam down. And apparently it is going to prompt me to go with you. And Osiris also says he collects fossils where you collect coins. I don't really have any physical things that I collect. In recent years, I have started a collection of unusual Christmas songs. So take that as you will. So when you beam down to Vulcan, you're right here in front of one of their main buildings. You cannot enter the building, but it looks pretty cool. Come down the long staircase. You can see their statues to either side. You can turn into a cat to run faster. Why the cat runs faster, I don't know.
His cats run fast.
Now, here's something that was added when the actor died, but there's a memorial to Spock. And usually, I mean, you don't get too many people visiting this anymore. But again, you had a bunch of people here with torches when Leonard Nimoy, passed a few years back when this was put in here. But I like it. I think it's pretty cool. And then let's see, there's one mission in the game that will bring you to Vulcan. And it actually brings you over here. And you'll come down in a shuttle. The shuttle will be parked over in that direction. And then you'll come up the steps here, and at the top of these steps is an ambassador that you will talk to. And that's pretty much it for Vulcan. Other than the one mission that brings you here, I don't think there's anything else there used to be a patrol that you could do here, that required you to do some diplomacy, but it's been removed. Sorry, I talked over you there.
I was just going to say it's fascinating to me on a planet that is probably super hot that they have all these burning flames all over the place.
That is from one of the TOS movies.
Oh, I know.
Trying to make it screen accurate. I jumped on top of one of those fires at one point in time, but I don't quite remember how I did it.
Yeah, I think you have to get up there.
Trying to remember. I don't know if I can. Oh, I did. There we go. Now I'm on fire. All right. You ready to get out of the fire and go somewhere a little bit more cold?
Sure. Apparently, if you're the cat and when you beam up, nods its head up twice and then you beam up.
Instead of tapping your communicator. That's
Uh-huh.
interesting. The cat, man. They obviously put
Wrong
some
button.
thought into that little toy.
I hit the wrong button. I thought I was
Where
leaving
is...
sector and I hit beam down.
There's Andoria.
Silly me.
All right. I'll wait for you over by Andoria. So this is one that I find really interesting. The Andorian system was added. It's actually a fairly newer addition to the game. Now it's still several years old at this point, but comparatively speaking, this is fairly new. They added it in as a social open PvP area and then did nothing else with it.
Yeah.
Let's see if it will prompt you. Nope, it did not prompt you to come with me.
I wasn't inside the system yet, but
No, I didn't beam down. I was entering the system. I was hoping it would bring you with. Okay, so here's the Andorian system. You have the big moon and then the planet, and you do actually have to get closer to beam down.
that's no moon.
I believe there are rules in place that will not let you use ranged weapons. You have to use a melee. At least that was the intention. You can talk to people here that'll talk about the Ushan fight, dueling in the park, give you the rules and regs. The area where you beam down here is kind of a safe zone, so you have to leave that area before you can do the open PvP. And I believe it's these markers that tell you when you're out of a safe zone. Yeah, there you go. You may be legally challenged. Park ranger. Dueling area. I tried to swing it, Grebog there. Oh, I can summon my helpers. That's funny. So do I have to do anything to duel you? I've never actually done this, so I don't know how that works.
This zone is quite large. Like, yeah. There is there's so much space. They could have done so much with this. I really kind of, I don't know. I wish they would have done more with it. All you will find if you run around here are these circles of people taking part in the duels. And that's that.
Here, come enter one of the circles.
I don't think I have a melee.
Well, it's actually letting me use my weapon, sort of. But I can't target you, so
We are in a party that might also be part of the problem. Hey, Mikey. Hopefully you are doing well tonight.
Anyway, so this was kind of a social zone that they put down here in the game, and then, like I said, never did anything with it.
It is also where Tabby and I came to, hey, we're getting ready for Q's Winter Wonderland. We're standing outside just waiting for the gates to open.
That's funny. All right, so that takes care of that one. Next on my list. Let's see, what is next on my list?
Bajor. So do you want to do the... Well, I guess I have to switch tunes to do the flotilla, so...
We hit the flotilla last week, although I did add it back on here. But technically, I ran through the flotilla last week because I was on Vatara.
Well, let's see here then. I need
there are others that I did not put on here. Like we could go to Sierra, 39 Sierra.
Yeah. I mean, technically, the Fleet Starbase is also a location that is a social area.
There's Drozana.
Drozana Station, yeah.
So I guess I'll run up here to Sierra real quick. Starbase 39. I left a lot of these smaller ones off when I did the list last week because I figured we wouldn't have enough time to hit them. This week we have a little bit more time, so
Here, I'll put you primary because I think I'm going to.
head
Um,
elsewhere.
we have no raffle.
So here's Starbase 39. There are a couple missions that will bring you here in the Romulan mystery arc. So not on a Romulan character, but on a Fed character, you'll come here to talk to DeSoto and pick up Damar Khan and stuff like that. So you'll be here a bit. But it's a small starbase. There's really only three rooms. Well, four if you count the admiral's office. There are shops here that you can buy or sell at. There's a small shipyard here. So, if you didn't want to go to ESD to switch what ship you're in or whatnot, to buy a new ship or set up a new ship, you can do that here, right over here. Here's the shipyard. Your first shuttlecraft mission will also send you here to get a shuttlecraft. And then you can go to the Admiral's office over here. Now, this is Admiral Tanay. You'll run into her quite a lot when you're involving Romulans or Sela. Let's see here.
I'm heading to Deep Space K7. Another one you didn't have on the list.
Let me add those real quick. Let's see. We did Andoria, so let's add in Starbase 39.
K7 is one of the like TOS style star bases. You can kind of get that feel when you fly in here. And then when you beam aboard, it's actually fairly decent sized. And there are other levels. As you can see, there are you have to take an elevator to get up to the other level, but they have a shipyard. If you head that way, they actually have it nice. There's a club K7, and then there's the armory. The elevator. I don't remember. There's clearly something on another floor here.
Now, something that just for interesting conversation, they used to have Memory Alpha that you could actually
Ah,
go down and visit, but that has also been removed.
Memory Alpha.
That's where the crafting like first started. You had to go there to craft stuff.
Yeah. Well, that's when like blueprints were a thing, and yeah.
I do have the Romulan flotilla on our list. Again, we visited that last week. If you're curious, it is a social zone for Romulans only. It's basically where your character goes until you find new Romulus. But even after you find new Romulus, you can still go to the flotilla. And some people will choose to do that because it's not as busy and everything is in a smaller area. So you can go from, like uh, to the exchange, or if you want to change uniforms or you want to change ships, you can do all of it relatively quickly.
Yes, the Admiral's office. Yet, there's all kinds of people just standing around here.
Where are
Though
you
this
at
is
again?
also
You're
where you can
K7.
find Commander Naomi Wildman, who is just
Oh,
standing
there you go.
here. She's up in the Admiral's office at K7.
Why they assigned her over there?
I don't know.
So that was K7, and I missed Drozana. Somehow I overshot Drozana. Turning around. There we go. Drozana. There's a Starbase 157 down here too, but I don't think that's a social zone.
Don't know.
Grinalda Station is somewhere the Klingons can go. Obviously, the Klingon Fleet Starbase, Kronos over there. Right.
Normally, I don't know if some of these are social zones until like they send them have us go on a mission to go there, and some of these missions no longer require you to go there. Spectres is the one that you took advantage of K7, and so a lot of people don't know K7 is still a thing because Spectres is kind of the it's in the you have to find missions versus yeah.
Drozana is. There are still missions that will bring you to Drozana, but Spectres explains why a lot of the stuff is going on at Drozana, like why the lights turn blue occasionally. Um, Now, this is a social zone. You'll see other people here. There's some shops here. At one point in time, you actually had to come here for the Lobi Consortium, the Lobi store. You don't have to do that anymore. You can open it anywhere. There is access to the banks, the exchange here, mailboxes here. And then there are still missions that will bring you here, especially if you're playing as a Romulan. You'll come over here and talk to this person a lot. If you run Spectres, you'll talk to this lady right here and the bartender over there. So it just depends on what you're doing, but there's a lot of stuff that will potentially bring you here. And you'll visit some of the lower areas too if you run Spectres. See a lot more of the station.
Starbase 157 is not someplace you can visit.
I think that used to be a patrol. Now that I'm thinking about it, I think it was one of the original patrols that you could travel around to. I don't remember what you did there, but I think it was a patrol. That might be the one where you found a traitor in the Federation. Somebody was basically running a black market out of one of the Fed star bases.
Maybe it's been so long.
Yeah, it's been a minute. Okay, so we need to hit Bajor and DS9, and then we can go hit our war zones.
Oh, does that not work any?
What?
I tried to use my transwarp to go to Bajor.
It should work.
It must be an interesting feature.
You can always go to Deep Space Nine if Bajor won't work.
For some reason, Deep Space Nine is not on this character's list, so.
All right, well, we'll fly there the old-fashioned way.
Well, you can head there. Here's my trick. What I've been doing to get around. I go to Defera.
Oh yeah, that works too.
It gets me just north of the.
Do you want DS9? I'll let you do DS9. I'll beam down to Bajor since I'll get there first. Bajor is an interesting one. That's another one that I feel like they were going to do more with and then didn't. That's a pretty big map too. And the mission that takes you there. Oh, I've apparently queued up for the Renegade's Regret. And Bajor went away just as I clicked on it, so I went to DS9 anyway.
You wanted to admire the pylons.
Yeah. I'll circle them slowly to make it look like we're admiring them. I loved that episode of Lower Decks. That was great.
Oh yeah, use mission transwarps. I might have a mission transwarp that could get me there. Oh well.
Okay, so there's Bajor. Okay, stop moving. Stop moving. Bajor. So this was added with the first set of Gamma Quadrant missions.
which is another hidden episode arc called Lost Dominion, which we have featured in previous episodes. But you come here to Bajor, and you beam down to one of their cities, Hathen. And here you go. There's a mission that will also take you to the mirror version of Hathen, which is really interesting. And this map is pretty sizable. There's all kinds of stuff to do here, people to talk to. There's a vendor. You can get information from Colonel Kobus here. All kinds of people to talk to. You can even go visit the Shrine of the Prophets, which is right here. And the Kai is here as well. Kai Opaka. To find out why Opaka's here, you're going to have to run the missions. There's a couple missions that will also give you an orb experience. Unfortunately, the prophets won't talk to you if you just come here not on one of those missions. So there is that. You want to talk to the prophets, find a mission.
An orb experience. It's an interesting way to word that.
Well, that's what they call it in the show.
I know it. You want to get high? Oh wait, no, we're not into that. Abide by whatever laws are around you.
Right. If you come down here, and so here's the bank and the exchange. There is a shipyard here too, somewhere. I don't remember where that's at. Everything here is the exact opposite of any of the star bases that we went to. Everything is really spread out, kind of all over the place. I mean, it's a city, right? If you run the mission here, you will run all over the place to talk to various people and diffuse some dangerous situations and worship the prophets and all kinds of stuff. But yeah, Hathen. Are you at DS9 yet?
I'm admiring the pylons.
Well, you can beam on down and show off DS9. While I try to remember where this where the starbase is. Or where, yeah, you know what I mean.
So when you get to DS9, you have all kinds of options. Beam onto DS9, beam directly to Ops, or dock. I'm going to go to Ops. Start there.
Was the Colonel. Yeah, I really don't remember where the shipyard is. I am at a loss. Typically, I just go to Deep Space Nine.
Well, as everyone can see, Curlin's here. If you go to Ops, are you done? You got more to show?
I found it. It's way over here, but I found the shipyard. But that's it. I'm done now. I'm gonna beam up. Go ahead.
So,
take
in Ops, in DS9, in the commander's office, captain's office, you have Captain Curland. Curland's here. If you have been doing your reputations, this is the console you come to learn all the various things. Yeah. You can go through them. You can come back at any point in time and go through them again, if you so desire. There are some missions offered up here too. The person to, if you want to train your bridge officers, is also up here, right here. There is also a requisition bridge officers person. Makes sense. I mean, personnel would probably be, maintained, controlled in ops. And then, we have a very diverse group here. Like Ambassador Tess is here. He's overseeing, making sure these puny Federation people are doing their jobs. And yes, the turbo lifts actually do go up and down, so you can get squished if you're not careful.
Lot to do on DS9, and they a couple years ago, well, several years ago at this point, they revamped DS9 to make it more show accurate.
Yes. I mean, you have all kinds of places. Like here's the med bay. In the one of the missions, you actually run into Bashir in here. Bashir is not in here now. But this would be where you can greet your officers. At the elevators or turbolifts, you can even go to the upper level and hang out above. Unfortunately, you can't dangle your feet over like Jake, but I mean, you can at least be up here, hang out, look out the windows. But there isn't much out here up here than scenery. So, but I mean, sometimes scenery is cool. All depends on what you're going for. You're looking for that special shot. There is, I believe, a second entrance into Quarks, so you can come in on the second floor instead of going in on the first floor. And you can even go up. Can you still go up to the third floor? Yes. Sometimes spiral staircases that steep, it makes it complicated to do.
In Quarks?
Yeah. Well, like in any game. That's why I was like, can you still get up there? But you can still come up to you can go to all 3 floors of Quarks. Let me go back down to the first floor. You can play Dabo at Quarks. You can get drinks. Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff. You can talk to Morn. He will just talk your ear off. Though is Morn. He talk to Morn, but I don't. Oh, he's right there.
We have a couple comments here in chat that I would like to take a moment to respond to. So,
Sure.
Vindale says use mission transwarps. Yes, that's a great way to get around, and I do that quite a bit. You just have to kind of know which mission you want, to take you where. But it's a free way to do it, and there's no cooldown on those, unlike the other transwarps. So yeah, that's a great way to do it. Elite 438 says, what is your favorite ship class in terms of looks? My personal favorite ship class is the Romulan D'Deridex Warbird. Obviously, I don't fly one. It's got a terrible turn rate in the game, but I've always liked the look of the Romulan ships, and those in particular are just really beautiful. As far as Federation ships go, I really like the Odyssey, but I don't own any of the newer Odysseys, so I don't fly one of those either. Out of the ships I fly, I have a bunch of them that are kind of favorites. I really like the Prometheus class. I like the variants of, some of the variants of the escort class, like the Valiant that I'm flying right now. Although this is a Terran Adamant, but I gave it the skin of a Valiant and even named it the USS Valiant. So, what about you, Grebog?
While I don't fly it, I think it's considered the Galaxy X.
Oh yeah, the Dreadnought.
Yeah, that is one of the ships like appearance wise I love. The Nova has grown on me a lot, though. That is also because it's a good ship to fly. I really enjoy flying that ship. I do have some love for like a lot of the TOS stuff, because that's when I kind of came into the got exposed to Star Trek. But like Klingons, the K7 or D7. God, my brain. I can't talk. I can't get like a connection between mouth and brain. And oh hey, it's Pag in a cell. So I'm in the security office, which if you need to turn in contraband prisoners, or apparently I have a deleted or defeated no, I don't have a defeated changeling. I thought it would be grayed out if I. But you can get rid of any prisoners that you might have, turn in any contraband you might have. Yeah.
Basically,
it's a lot like Earth Space Dock, DS9, except DS9. It's finding stuff. There are some people that love to hang out here, so that they know where everything is. I haven't hung out here enough to know where everything is, so or to remember, I should say.
A lot of people will use it in place of ESD.
Yeah, well, a lot of people do, for the simple fact that they don't have to go to, like, if they play both KDF and Fedside, they only have to memorize locations of one place.
Yep.
And also KDF, everything is so spread out. Holy cow! Coming here, it's a lot more compact. You can get to a bank of a transporter pad. You can get to a lot more stuff a lot quicker. Like here, you got the shipyards, ship requisition, repair your ship, ship equipment, customize. Yeah, and then not far from that is across this other side is the bank and exchange. So I mean, you have two of the main things that you're going to access: your bank exchange and your ship stuff, right across the street from each other, or the hallway, alleyway, whatever. I don't know.
Promenade.
Yeah. And there are also, they still have places for, that's another one of the dock spots. So when you dock, if you notice, there's 4 different points that, here I'm zooming in on one, that basically seem to go to a dead end. That is one where if you say you want to dock, it will just put you in one of those and you run out onto the promenade. And I think it just randomly picks one. Here is the outfitters, so you can come in, and this is where there's Taylor. Though, oh, maybe not a Taylor. You can buy stuff. Garrick's shop is the Taylor. These people just have common white gear. Go to Garrick's. It's cooler. Commodity brokers. If you're going to do some of the duty officer missions, you need some commodities. That's a place to go. This kind of looks like a storeroom. Random storage room.
The stuff to look at over there.
Yeah, I was like Omega Force. If you want to come and talk to the Omega Task Force Omega people, they are here. There's always somebody, I think, in one of the 2 outfits. You have the Fed side and the Klingon side of the room, but they're both technically working together. Frontier devices, like, they all have nice names. Klingon weapons. I think these are also just white weapon equipment. But then yeah, here you have Garrick's clothiers, and it's where you can come and look at your outfits. So many outfits. I need to revamp some of them. They have some on for example of, I guess my game. But they have the standard outfits that you would see here, in in DS9 show, from the, Bajoran's, some of the Bajoran stuff, and also the Federation fleet. Though they left these two open, it's almost like they had an idea and then just stopped, ran out of time, whatever. It would be nice to see that they would put maybe some more outfits in there. Anyway.
So I went ahead and came to one of the ground battle zones or war zones.
Okay.
I've never actually been here before. This is interesting.
Which one are you at?
Otha.
I don't know where that is.
System. It's down by Drozana. So the war zones are open PvP areas. There are 4 of them in the grain. Let me get on tongue-tied. 4 of them in the game, 2 ground and 2 space. These are areas that you can beam down to and complete objectives. Like, I'm supposed to beam up scientist, and apparently I have Borg to fight. But this is a PvP zone. Now, unlike Andoria, you cannot just fight anybody. This is, Fed versus Klingons, red versus blue. And apparently there are Borg. There's Borg in the space one too. There are kind of daily missions you can pick up for these. They will be in the available tab. You kind of have to look for them. I used to carry one with me all the time, just because I liked coming here to get the lithium to the front lines. That might be it. Yeah, there you go. Enter a war zone. So Commander Vintrax gives it to you, and I am being shot. Oh, okay. I thought it was a player for a second. Now, in the space zones, you'll often run into players. There are PvPers that will purposely just hang out in those areas. But on the ground ones, I don't really see that as being a concern. Not enough people like the ground aspect of the game to hang out in a PvP zone. So, if you need board kills, you can come here. Or if you have that Warzone daily, you can come here. Just depends on what you have going on. And I don't know if the other one is any different or not. Let's see if we can go get this other person beamed up. There you go. The sword's cutting him down. The sword works really well.
I'm trying to go to the other one. It is a little ways yet.
You're fine. I'll go up and go to one of the space ones. Well, we should probably do the space one together.
This one, the other ground one, it is Pagoon system. It is not far from Kronos, so I'm sure one was probably because one is technically in Federation space. One's technically in Klingon space. I am sure that is why they picked the systems.
Wow, these respawned really fast. The Borg apparently have plasma turrets. Go. And they hit really hard. At least through shields. Basically, in all of these zones, though, you'll complete the objectives and stick around until it restarts. You get a small amount of dilithium, and you can complete whatever quests you have there.
I can't go into the system. It's not popping up a thing. Well,
Saw that coming. There we go. And there we go. Mission reward. Purple shields, and then I could run it again to complete my daily if I wanted to. I've got 1 out of 3 completed.
Yeah, I'm sitting on top of the planet, and it's not asking me if I want to beam down.
I wonder if that's been removed then. What about the other space one, the Navak system?
Let me see if I can find it. Oh no, one of us was typing in the notes while doing other stuff.
Oh, did I? Yep. KDF.
Much like Castle.
Okay, I'm headed towards Navak.
Me too. This will be interesting.
I really have no idea where it is.
Apparently I'm not far from it.
There it is. I see it.
Yeah, it's like just on the other side of Kuvat.
Okay.
Not to be confused with Kavat. Or Kurat. Whatever.
Kurat. Carrot. It's the carrot system. Or the Kakarot system. Hi, Darth. Better than the Vegeta system. That's what they need to do. They need to add Planet Vegeta into STO.
I'm not getting a prompt go into this system either.
I wonder if they've been removed.
Cut down the number of
the wiki
places?
didn't say anything about it, but so I guess it's just Karat and the other one I'll have to adjust. Otha. So Otha and Karat are still good.
Yeah.
I'll mark off Navak and however you say that other one. Okay, so I guess we're going to Karat then.
Yes.
I know, it's your favorite place in the game. Go. That's sad though that they removed them. I mean, I get that they're not used very often, but I mean, at least they left the other two, I guess. Don't forget your transwarp if you can. Not transwarp. Slipstream.
You have faster engines than what I have on my setup.
No, I was using my or the slipstream.
I'm using slipstream at the same time, and you were still pulling away.
Oh, well, you're catching up now. Mine ran out.
But yeah, it's fascinating. They pulled 2 of them out.
Beppy 113. I remember that one. That's where you go into time warp, slingshot around the sun.
Let's do the time warp again.
Oh, wait. Okay, so this one we are probably going to get ambushed here. I used to come here quite a bit back when I actually stood a chance in PvP, but things have changed drastically. And while I can occasionally kill people in here, I usually just die a whole bunch.
You hit enter?
I did. Now, very much like the ground map, there are Borg in here.
And there's objectives to do stuff with the Borg.
Yep. Scan Borg encryption nodes. There's 3 sets of objectives. The ground map only had 2. There's 3 here. Somebody is actively fighting the cubes over here.
And there's a group PvPing over to our right.
Is there? Oh, so there is.
Yes.
Why is that's a KDF? Why is he blue to me? That's a KDF ship. Might be a Fed player though. There you go. Right, because anybody can fly any ship these days. I should probably go help him. I might regret this.
Where'd you go?
He turned on me. That was weird. He was showing up blue.
So gonna die. Told you.
Yeah, oh, I died too. That's funny.
Someone is... I'm just fascinated with the ships that people are in. Uh-oh.
Anyway, so like I said, if you wanted to come hang out here, probably some sort of survival build wouldn't hurt.
PvP build.
Silver versus Tal Uth. Silver has 23 kills to Tal Uth's 1, which is probably the one I just helped him with. All right, so yeah, I think that's going to do it for this show. What are we doing next week, Grebog?
Well, let's see. Next week, Red Alert's still going on, isn't it? Yeah. So we should have news about. Hopefully, we should have news about the anniversary event and all the goodness there. But outside of that,
You want to talk about commendations? We haven't done that for a while.
Sure.
Okay, so we'll do duty officers and commendations, and maybe show people some tricks on how to get commendations raised up. Might actually help me too. I still have a... Oh, I'm just flying circles. I'm cloaked and flying circles.
I'm not cloaked. I can't cloak.
No, we can leave. You're good. I know you don't like PvP, man, so it's all right.
Oh, if we can plan about, it's a whole nother thing when we get a group that come in here,
Yeah.
But I'm also, if I'm going to actually seriously get into PvP, then I would need to look at builds, get my resistances up, because that is a lot of, from my understanding, people go heavy into the resistances for their PvP builds. And that is not something I have. Because, like, this ship, by default, just sitting here, I have a lot of low resistances. Like, one of them's even at 2.9%. I'm not meant to be pounded on. And I think 15% or something like that is what's expected across the board. So... if you don't have 15% resistances, I think they tell you to, like, don't bother with going in. Fine.
That would make sense, I guess. Trying to fix our notes here. So you want to do a fleet update real quick?
Sure. Federation fleet is still, like, let's see. We're working on the colony. As you can see, the colony here, renewable energy tier, is like 3 projects away from tier 5. So the current project plus 2 more, and we will have tier 5, which then will push us to have enough of the experience to be able to do the tier 5 colony, the big colony project. So and then we'll only have the two other tiers to work on. As for the KDF fleet, right now Starbase Tier 2 is counting down. It's what? I think it was under 1 day, 20 some hours, something to that effect when I looked earlier. The lithium mine Tier 2 is close. One of the or not Tier 2, Tier 3. We are almost done with Tier 3 on the KDF side. We have, I believe, the development tier still to work on, but the trade Tier 3 big project is queued. So, yeah. It needs a lot of dilithium. It's like, but we'll get there. We'll get there. Dilithium's something we can farm and grind and yada, yada, yada. So, but, yeah, everything's going well. We're moving right along. And so, KDF, Starbase Tier 2, awesome. The lithium tier 3, almost there. And this is switching.
I'm switching to my KDF character real quick. I just want to run over to I guess it's Kagan and see if I can get in as a KDF.
Well, here,
I doubt it.
I donated, so because we did the thing, said that made our decision about the new challenge captains or new player challenge. I moved that off to my free to play account because I'm not buying anything for that account. I have only gotten free stuff on it. So I went and reclaimed all my fleet marks and stuff like that. I still have 432 fleet marks out of 10,000 I dumped into the fleet. So that was a nice big push. But yeah, here we can see upgrade trade facilities is up to Tier 3. I do have a provision thing on the trade tier, but that's more to start getting the provisions going. And dilithium is kind of right now the hold up on a lot of the projects. Oh, I guess it's 1 day, 4 hours, 32 minutes, and we'll have the Starbase Tier 2.
Wow, it actually did let me beam down to Kagan. That is weird, though, because I don't know how it can be a war zone if only one faction can access it.
Interesting.
Let me check out. It was still the same as the other one, though. Still Borg, and it looked like the same requirements. I'm going to run over to the other one real quick. Nevak or whatever.
Maybe they are faction. That is weird. Faction specific.
Well, but we just saw a KDF character in Karat.
Well, yes.
So that doesn't make any sense.
Huh. I don't know. But yeah, that's all that's going on with the fleet. I guess while you do that.
Okay, I cannot enter. Oh, that's the wrong spot. Never mind. I need Nevak. Wrong system.
The other system.
Yeah, I didn't go far enough. Apparently, I stopped early. There we go. Yeah, I can enter Nevak too. That's interesting.
Huh.
It's a feature.
Well, they both are in KDF space. I don't know why that would. I don't know. It is what it is.
You know what? Maybe it's the same zone, but KDF characters have to get in from here, and Fed characters have to get in from their side.
Maybe.
Because it looks the same. It's the same objectives and stuff. Although I don't see anybody else in here. Let me see if I change instances. there aren't any other instances. I don't know. That's kind of weird. There's only one way to find out, and that's to run over to Karat.
Well,
that might
thinking...
be the case, though, because at one point in time, like, the Federation couldn't get over here. There was a certain, like, you couldn't enter enemy territory for a while when the game first launched.
Go. I was gonna say go back.
Oh, are you over at Karat still?
Well, I am at Karat, but I was thinking about going to Otha, and if you wanted to go to, because then we don't have to, because Karat, we know there are people in there fighting PvPing, but if we go to the ground one where there weren't anyone, we could properly run and wave at each other.
All right, I'll head over to Kagan. For you, it would be
Otha.
Otha.
Properly wave at each other, you know.
If that's how it works, and I'm not saying it is.
I mean, yeah, because that did used to be a thing where you could not go into any enemy bases. Like, yeah, back when the war was going on.
Okay, I am here.
I am entering ground war zone. It's been so long since I've even thought about that aspect.
So where are you at on the map?
Looks like I am in the complete south section of the map.
Okay, that is where I am at as well. So much for our theory then. Because all I'm seeing are Borg. All right, let me try one more thing here. I'm going to run over to where you're at and try to beam down. This will be our last little experiment of the night, I guess.
Hang on. Oh, you already left. I wonder if we started on the opposite side of the same darn cube. Oh, silly me. Got that there.
I ran all the way around that little area.
Oh.
I suppose the map could have just been inverted for each of us.
Could have been. I need to equip my Tommy again if I'm going to stay around here too long.
I'm almost there. Nope, it'll let me beam down. So, that's weird. And it put me at the far north side. That is really, really interesting. I turned into a cat to better outrun the Borg.
Oh, I opted to go a different path. That there are no Borg.
Where did you go?
I'm running right down the middle.
Well, I did too. I think we just passed each other. Because I'm over in your starting area now.
Do you see a bioengineered dino somewhere?
No, but I see dead Borg. Oh, there's Simon. Hi, Simon. Ow!
I said a proper hello.
I was not ready.
And yet you're still gonna get me.
You were... Oh, your thing rezzed you. Oh, ow. Oh, the lightning. Yeah, that'll do it. Ball lightning is mean, dude.
That and the fire I stuck you in. I
All right. So much for the great experiment. So apparently the 2 Klingon zones are locked for the Fed.
interesting. And it is now. Well, we've been going for an hour and a half, roughly.
Yeah, I know. It's time for us to go. So I will leave everybody with the last thing that Q ever said to Picard. See you out there.
We'll be right back with picking someone to raid. But yes, live long and prosper, live long and prosper, everybody. Thank you for watching, and see you next week.